at the moment, no.
If they want to, in order to build, I mean, that's the point, we're gonna look at the buildings and how many people, your conversion rate, probably need to have some, somebody has to go and make a database, set up the information, make those largest, get people.
Essentially, we need to put someone who has experience instead of no. So yeah, that's I guess that's just a thing that we which is a regulatory
Not the expensive.
Good try.
Yeah.
So, no, that may be more mental.
What is the force? There's always some ways of workshops. How reading,
But there are
put the numbers
To do that, yeah.
Yeah, so the last one is expensive.
no.
Yeah, I think you should be there.
I've got a lot of time.
Any shares? Anybody would like to share something?
But this
You need any help with it? Okay, it's 1,000 times 2 times 100. Okay, it's the number of donors. Multiplied by the number of patients.
Over what, say that?
Over a period of 3 years. You can consider it. So over the period of 3 years,
Business wherever.
average, which is a month.
Oh, I wish I could.
Each time. So it's 100 times 2 is 200 multiplied by 1,000. Similarly. Yeah? Are you okay? Can I help you with anything? Is the formula clear? Yeah? Are you okay? Formula is clear?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah? I can explain if there is anything.
No, we've identified that we need to
Yeah. No, it's okay. Do you guys go into any sort of outreach education to the non-Muslim communities in schools or outside of
Okay. Anybody would like to share if anything has clicked? If there's something, anything that you'd like to share, it would be great. It's fine. There are no right and wrong answers. We are here learning, so.
Okay, so we had advice meetings, where we were learning about companies. And the number of donations per year is 5. On average, like £50. The times by 250, that would be a total of 25,000. And then you said, like, on average, we spend 700 on charity. So what would that be?
Okay, so that's a good, thank you for a great share. So if we have this, if you have, let's say 500 leads, and you're converting 100, which is 25%, 20%, and out of those 20%, each one is donating 50. How many times per year? 5 times, so that's 250. 250 multiplied by 100, that's 25,000. We take out of it 20%, so we are left with 20. Or you're 70. Okay, so we're taking 30%, so we're left with 17.5. Okay, so in here, in your opinion, we should work with how can we increase this bottom line or the net funds? Is it just working on one aspect, or 2, or 3, or 4, or even the whole 5? Because this is something that you are able to assess, because some elements, if you increase them, it might not have the same effect on your bottom line. So you have to be aware that you should work across all 5, across generating more leads, increasing your conversion. So if your conversion is 20, how can I make it 22, not even 25? Because that 10% creates massive impact on your net funds. So yes, it is possible to do it in your charity. There is no reason why it shouldn't. Any questions before we move into the second part? Please.
Yeah, I've done 2 different calculations. One following your line,
Okay.
where I started off with what we would need as a charity for a year,
Mm-hmm.
and then one
So you've worked on a reverse.
the other way around.
Okay.
Thinking about a different kind of donor in the second calculation. So I've got like 2 calculations for 2 different types of donor type, one being more corporate company and one being more individuals.
Okay.
And so what strikes me from that calculation is that you need to differentiate who you're actually asking for money in terms of your conversion rate and your amount of donations.
That is another layer. That is another layer of calculation. But this is why here we have set the average. So some will be donating a bigger amount, some will be donating a smaller amount. So this is why we're talking on average. So if you're, if I want to talk, for example, in the charity sense, from what I know, for example, they have usually products to provide clothing for a needy child, let's say, for across the year. That might be, let's say, 50 pounds. Or it could be, for example, to build a room for a shelter for someone that doesn't have a house or have a shelter. That could be 5,000 pounds. So between the 50 and the 5,000, how much money? So this is where you need to average. It depends on the different donators. So this is why you need to have a continuous flow of different leads, depending on, I'm not saying ignore the smaller or the little donations and concentrate only on the big ones. Because if one of the big ones disappear, massive impact it would have on your charity. Sometimes in company sense, what we used to say, oh, I'm not interested in peanuts, I'm only interested in a full steak. But sometimes, if steak is not available, peanuts would really make you full. And even if they would help you grow your company or your charity. So when it comes to really to team challenges, I'm going to cover 2 specific elements. What are your current challenges with your team, or shed some light? I'm not going to go into specific. This is more of interactive, so I would appreciate any comments. What impact would they be having on your charity? there is something in we as human beings usually behave. Okay? There is something called the point of power. So when we this is your point of power. So when something happens, some people would say, would tend to, this is their behavior, he did it, she did it, not me. So it's more of blame. They blame someone else for what has happened. Or actually they are in denial. It's okay, it's fine, it didn't have any impact on our charity or whatever. So we go into denial mode. Or we give some excuses. It's because of this or because of that. Any one of us have done this? I would say yes. On my behalf, I would say yes. But I've learned to go above the line, not stay below the line. To be more accountable on what I do. To have ownership. For my actions. And I'm going to be responsible. For every action that I take. And this is the same in companies. Which behavior do we practice within the charity, within our lives, among our friends, among our family, among our colleagues, and so on? Do we go into blame, excuses, and denials? Or we take accountability and we take ownership of whatever issue and we act upon it and we solve it. We are responsible for it. This is something that is going below the line, it's powerless, while going above the line, it is powerful. We just need to be disciplined. Because teams are together, everyone achieves more success. There are 5 dysfunctions to a team, any team. Absence of trust between each other as colleagues, or even as a community, or even as whatever. Or between the team member and the head or their superior or whatever, there is an absence of trust, or there is a fear of conflict. If he succeeds, I won. If she succeeds, I won. So there isn't really, there is egoism. We are concentrating only on selfish benefits rather than overall benefit for everyone. Because together everyone achieves more success, not individually. Lack of commitment. They are not committed. They are not committed either to themselves, and this can really happen, or they are not committed for the success of the charity, or the company, or the community, whatever it is. It's the same. Avoidance of accountability. So, no one holds you accountable, so what should I do it? And it's not related to results. And nobody cares about what are the results that needs to be achieved. So what we're going to discuss today are the opposite. we are going to discuss the 7 keys to a winning team, which are strong leadership. We'll go into detail in each one. Common goals. What are the rules of the game? What is your action plan? Are you supporting risk-taking? And do you have the 100% involvement or exclusion within your team members? And the 7th one, it's 3 dots, which we will reach it at a later stage. So let us start with strong leadership. What is the strong leadership? Strong leadership, it has lots of inspiration and passion and humbleness and culture and emotional intelligence. It should aspire and inspire not only your teams, but even yourself and the community and everyone around you, because in that way you are a strong leader. It's basically if how many donations would you like to ideally have in your charity? So let's say 50, 40,000? Okay. So if it is a 40,000, if you want to have 40,000 per year, what do we need to do and who do we want to be? What are the new things that we need to learn? What are the things that we need to progress on? What are the things that we need to adopt in order to do what we need to do to have those 40,000? And this is something that I'm going to touch on in a different way at a later stage, just to give you some thoughts on why it is important. It is not even important, it is essential. There is a book for Marshall Goldsmith says, what got you here will not get you there. So if you keep on doing what you are doing today, you will still have, even in 10 years, you will still have the same results that you have today. So if you want to have different results, you need to change. You need to adopt the new things. You need to adopt new learnings, new behaviors. When we are in any charity, there are 3 different things. If you want to recruit new people, so the benefit of recruiting new people is that we tell them how do we want things to be done, what are the rules of engagement, how to go about things within our charity, what is expected from them. Sometimes for existing staff, and I've had it in the company that I used to run back in Saudi Arabia, sometimes when you introduce change, some people will go overboard. They will just leave. When you introduce change, some team members, for some reason, either they cannot adopt with change, they don't want to learn new things, or it's taking them out of this comfort zone. And one most important thing, going back to the new recruits, when we are recruiting someone, we should not recruit them because they have great talent. It's irrelevant. What is relevant is how they can use that great talent to achieve your overall goal. So great talent, if you want to have this great talent in silo, they would achieve nothing for us as a charity. But if we integrate that great talent and we groom it for the benefit of our own charity, That's brilliant. Usually, in terms of people, there are, I'm not going into psychology here, but there are different types of people. All of us here in the table, we fall into different quadrants. And in many cases, we possess more than one style. But there is one that is dominant. So there is the outgoing people and the reserved. There is this task-oriented and the people-oriented. So people who like to talk to different people and people who are a bit shy. They just want to focus on what they do. They are brilliant in what they do. They are very accurate in what they do. So these four quadrants, the results, these are what we call them dominants, dominant people. Short breath, they don't like to talk to people, they are always busy. 1, 2, 3, you want to talk to them, just give it to them. 1, 2, 3, I want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, done, right? The I, people that they would like to have fun. They are influencers. If you don't give them limits on what you expect from them, so can you explain for me in 30 seconds X? They have 30 seconds, so they will explain. If you don't give them that time limit, they will keep on talking for ages. This is science. And there is the third quadrant, which we call steadiness. We call them in English, these are the cool people. They are very cool. Nothing makes them worry. They are always calm. It's not because they are always calm, because they are calm. If you read, you have to talk to them a little bit differently when you want them to do something. And then the fourth one, which is the compliant people. Those who are very accurate in what they do, what we call the technicians. If something, whether it is a financial statement or if it is a genius computer that is broken, these are the people that will solve it. But don't put them as a salesperson. And this is actually a common mistake. And some people, they would recruit based on, oh, my brother recommended him or whatever. But are they really good for this job? Or they might be good for something else? And this is something that is even worthwhile investigating within your own charity, to put the right people in the right task, so that you would have the best outcome possible from it. I'm going to come to something. Anybody has heard of the iceberg? Yeah? Okay. When the Titanic was formed, was like manufactured, I think it was Plymouth, in South England. Everybody said this is indestructible. So the captain had huge ego. I'm indestructible. So when he was sailing to the US, he saw just a small patch of ice. Oh, Titanic, I'm indestructible. He went through it. What he did not notice is the huge mass that was underneath. We are the same. As human beings, we are the same. What people see in us are the actions that we take. We take a specific action because of a specific decision that we have made. And this would bring us to specific results that we are going to achieve. And this is because of the behavior that we are doing. But this is actually, it's just, as it is the iceberg, this is the tip of the iceberg. If we want to change, because we've talked just a little bit ago, a while ago, if we want to have different results, we cannot keep on doing the same thing that we are doing today. We need to change. So if we need to change, we just don't change the actions or the behaviors or the decisions, we change our identity. We change the core. Someone told me that if you want to change identity, go to war. God forbid, because war can be damaging. It can change everything in our lives, in our identity. Imagine that you want to be, I don't know, a great runner. Okay, you get your jumper on, your running shoes, and off you go, you start running. Do you think that that would make you a great runner? This is a short-term change. If you want to be a great runner, you need to change that identity that you have. You need to work on your skills, on your beliefs, on your values, on your identity, and most importantly, on your environment. So going below this, the surface, the water surface, there is the skills. So what are the skills? The skills are some things that we are good at. I'll give you an example. I'm a great cook. Okay? I like cooking. Usually, when I cook, the food is great. Okay? This is because this is my belief. I'm a good chess player. I'm excellent in maths. I'm a good marketing and in media and marketing, communication planning. That's my field. These are skills that either you have learned, these are things that you are convinced 100% between you and yourself that this is absolutely true. And this is reinforced by your beliefs. Anybody would give me a definition for a belief? What is a belief?
Something you truly believe in.
Something, exactly, something you hold to be true. Something that you hold to be true. But this something that you hold to be true, this is something that can change. This is something, it is true for the time being, but this is something that might change. I'll give you an example. I have my son is a competitive swimmer. Okay, mostly he has swum 400 freestyle meter, 400 meter freestyle, among other swims. And then last year, I wanted him to compete in 1,500 meters. The first time he resisted, he even got sick. I don't want to do it. I worked on his mindset. He agreed. He was scared. He did not give full force, but he did agree. He jumped into the water and he did swim the 1,500 and in a better timing than he expected. What was his belief? His belief was that he cannot swim 1,500 meters. That is something that he held to be true. When that changed, when he swam it, his belief was something else. He came out of the water and he came to me and he said, "Dad, it's not 1,500 meters that I can swim. I can swim 3,000 meters and even more. It's easy." Taking this example into our charity, into our lives, what are the beliefs that we have? And do we have a self-limiting belief sometimes? Sometimes we do have a self-limiting belief about the things that we can do or we cannot do. Is this affecting our growth and our charity's growth and our community's growth and our cause growth? Going down to values. What are the values? The values are usually things that are entrenched in our mind by our parents, by our religion, by our society, by our school. These are the values. I don't steal, I don't swear, these are our values. If you find, let's say, if you are at the playground and you find 10 pounds, what would you do with it? There is no one around you. No one sees you. What would you do? Or let's say you find 1,000 pounds. Or you find 100,000 pounds. What do you do? Do it. Or your values are, this is not my money, even though it is tempting, but I should go to the nearest police station and report that I have found this. These are values. Whether this side or this side, I'm not judging, but I'm saying that these are values. Going to the identity. In English language, there are two words that are extremely powerful. They are I am. There is nothing more powerful in English language than I am, except two words. I can't, or I do. And these are, again, self-limiting beliefs. If you don't believe that you can do it, if you don't convince yourself that you can do something, you will not be able to do it. But if your mindset is I am, then you have to do it. You will do it. Repeatedly. And this is I am, this is something that we do every day. Morning, evening, midday, at least 5 times. Because when you tell yourself that I am, just I am who I am. My name is Khalil Aruni, so I am Khalil Aruni. I am a parent. So when you are a parent, that's a different identity that you have. What are the values, beliefs, skills that you have started? I am a business owner, so what are the values, beliefs, skills, actions, and so on? And the last thing is the environment. So in many cases, we hear the word victim. So are you a victim of the environment? If the environment is not good, are you a victim of the environment, or you reshape the environment to work for you? Or you get out of that environment? We don't want to be victims anymore. There are also some other emotional intelligence for great and strong leadership, self-reliance, confidence, relationship skills. So we want really people we want to create a winning team. So we want to listen to what they do. We want to get their support into, and then adoption into the charity. And for us to achieve not only our goals, inspire them. Inspire them. The common goal usually, it's something that the whole charity works on. Whether you are the head of the charity, the CEO of the charity. So what is the central goal that the whole charity, the whole teams work towards? If you know what is that vision, the vision would then implement or indicate what is your mission, what is your goals, what you want to achieve now and then. In specific milestone, what do you want to achieve? Each team member should be aware on what needs to be achieved. And you should have that vision, mission, it should be inspiring so that you can work towards it with full heart. As I've mentioned in the beginning, world abundance through business re-education. If you want to take it from a religious point of view, you want to take it from a community point of view, there are always those inspiring quotes. So how are you going to communicate it with your team? And the second thing is the rules of the game. The rules of the game, what is acceptable, what is not. What can be done and what cannot be done. What is the playground? What is the field that you can operate with it? As a team member, what are you expected to do? By when? How? Usually in creating your charity culture, there are values that are imperative to the CEO or to the charity founder, values that are imperative for the donors or the trustees, and on that basis they do donate to this specific charity. There are values that are imperative for the team members, and this is what makes them work every day to achieve those goals. Otherwise, we will go back to the dysfunction. And the values that are imperative for the charity. I know that this is probably the right time if you can introduce the charities that you have and tell us what are the values of your charity, what is the reason for your charity. Anybody would like to start? Please. Can you stand up, please?
Yes, certainly. Isabel and I, my name is Benaifa, we run a major charity in London that works with deprived women, empowering them and helping them move out of isolation and deprivation.
Brilliant, thank you.
My name is Angela and I run a charity based in Iraq, and we work with vulnerable children, orphanage and widows.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Asad. I'm involved in the Muslim Student Council.
With?
Muslim Student Council.
Okay.
It's an umbrella organisation for student societies across the country. About 30 in all, and our main aims are to create a unifying platform to develop personal, collective, and society goals for each individual.
Brilliant, thank you. Would you please?
Hi, yeah, my name is Yamama. I work in a charity that does medical projects and education projects in Syria.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Astrid. I run a charity called The Hands Design. We teach children and teenagers what sustainable fashion is and how to do it.
Brilliant, thank you. Sushar?
My name is Shahid and I work for the Muslim Council of Britain, and we are working for the common good of the community, trying to deal with Islamophobia issues and issues wherein the media portrays the wrong image of Muslims and try to correct them and get so many other things, various projects that we do, we work on that as well.
Brilliant, thank you.
Yes, I work for Noor Trust, which is a charity established in the year 2000, and we work to empower the children and young adults as well in UK and overseas.
Brilliant, thank you. Ladies?
Father Safe Charity.
Okay,
Yes, I'm from the Together Plan, I'm the founder of the charity, and we work to, it's community capacity building for small communities, isolated, socially and economically vulnerable communities in the former Soviet Union and Eastern Europe.
oh, brilliant. Thank you so much. So, what are the values that are important to you as founders, as team, as donors, and as your charity? Usually, any charity should work on a tight-loose culture. What does that mean? Tight-loose culture, it means that these are the rules of the charity. Anything other than these rules is not accepted. It is not acceptable at all. This is our culture. This is the way that we are. Nothing other than our culture is accepted. But this is our this is the way that we behave, this is the way that we interact, and so on. But this is our playground, this is our field. Loose people. If everyone knows what are their responsibilities, everyone knows what are their tasks, everyone knows what do they need to achieve, they will feel free to do it as long as they are complying within the rules and the culture of your charity. Action plan, it's basically how to get there. We are there. I'm not saying all of you are established, so you are there. But if you want to take it if you want to go from what you're doing today, what you are achieving today, and you want to double whatever you are achieving today. So what is your action plan? What are the responsibilities? Who's going to do it? By when? By who? If they don't do it, what is going to happen? You want 100%. You give 100%, you take 100%. So what is the action plan? By when? By who? Who's going to do it? Whose responsibility? The goals focus the attention towards relevant activities. So basically, you set a plan, and it's not the charity owner or the charity founder who has this plan in his head or her head. There is involvement from everyone, every team member, in putting this plan forward. In achieving this plan, it's not only my plan, it's our plan. So there is one, ownership. This is, I have an integral role in this plan. I want to achieve it. And this is the charity's plan. This is my role, and this is what I'm going to achieve. We don't want to have it in our head. We want it written. We want milestones. Because usually, people will do what you inspect, not what you expect. So if there is a target for each individual member by X, then yes, they will do it. You're expected to be a team member. Okay, so what does that mean? Nothing. You're expected to perform your job properly. Brilliant. What does that mean? We need to set targets for each and everyone, every team member, on what they are going to achieve and what would happen if they don't. And it's not, we're not in a dictatorship, it's their plan. The business owner should inspire them, should talk to them, should communicate to them, should evolve, and they will evolve with them. We should have a checklist. What are their KPIs? And any thoughts? Because for different, I'm just touching the tip of the iceberg, but this is your charity, so, or charities. So I would like your thoughts, and I'll write them down on what are the other things that you think that
Just double check what is KPI.
key performance indicators. So for your charity, what are those measures? I'm ready, I can write. No?
Give us an example.
Basically, oh, sorry. Uh-oh. Okay. For example, from a charity perspective, you have converted, let's say, 10%. So your goal is to increase that conversion to 11 or 12%, let's say 11%, using the following tools. So here you should have a checklist, not when you reach, let's say after 12 months, have you achieved it? No, I haven't. So you should have like, by this and this and this and this month, I should achieve this by this time, and I'm gonna use the following tools. So by the first month, if they are not working, there is a continuous dialogue between you and your superior or your founder to check what has happened or what are the hurdles that you're facing for you not to achieve it. It's in everything in life. If you want to have more business, if you want to have more sales, you should put targets to your salespeople. You should put targets here to achieve more donators. It's the same. Business, charity, the same model. Different framework, but it's the same. So basically, who does what by when? And in many cases, again here, we should go back to the below the line and above the line. We should support them in their risk taking as long as they are playing within the framework. That's the set. We should support them because if they do things in a genuine way, we should support them. And if something has happened, we should not blame them. There should be a continuous dialogue, continuous appraisal, continuous evaluation of their performance on what they are doing, how they are doing it, why, what happened. Because it's their involvement, your involvement. If there is 100% communication, which we're going to talk about later, there is 100% take-up out of it. Continuous dialogue. There is a word in Japanese, it's called, if you go into Google Translate, to tell you Kaizen. Kaizen is continuous improvement. You grow, you plateau, you grow, you plateau, you grow, you plateau. But it is continuous improvement of what you are doing and what your team member is doing. Today I was looking at LinkedIn in the morning, and one of my old clients was posting a message. How important is money to employees? Is money the most important thing to employees? If I say that money is not important, I'll be living in a la la land. Money is definitely important, but it's not the most important thing in life. Our learning, our improvement, our family, our bigger family, our community, where do we fit in? This is extremely important as well. So if we keep on learning, if we keep on growing, you should allow growth for your team members. Because if they grow, your charity would grow. If you're the only person, you should start considering ways on how you can grow that. Because this is not for profit. So if the charity is bigger, there are better society, better community, better cause, better everything, more employment. When I told you the reason that I've started this, doing this workshop for charity, but I've discovered that in the UK it's 48 billion pounds in terms of money generated. 880,000 employees work in charity. So if there is 880,000, which is almost a million, it's massive for the growth of the society, the community, economy, everything. Again, 100% involvement clarity above the point of power, open, honest, timely, two-way communication between us and the employees and the team members, proactive participation, their hearts and their minds. If they are only working for your charity's objectives or your company's objectives, they can work for some time, but not all the time, because they are in need. But once they find something that fits their heart, they will leave. So, achieving their personal goals and achieving your charity goals, they go hand by hand. They are not different. On the contrary, they are motivational for them to do even better every day. And them as a team, imagine at the same time that inspiration, they have that common goal between their and their other team members. They are all working towards the same goal. How fast you can reach your journey. In the old Roman ships, they used to row. Imagine one was rowing this way and the other one was rowing this way. Or the other one was sitting idle. How would they fight? How would they reach that destination? They are all rowing for the greatness of their society, country, tribe, whatever it is, and their own achievements. So every team member should be able to answer, where is this charity going? What is your vision, mission? What is the role that they need to play to get there? And this is only done if you keep on talking to them and giving them an appraisal. You need to talk to your employees and appraise them. So what have they achieved? What do you expect them to achieve? Where do they want to go? Where do they want to be? We are humans. We are the most intelligent person or thing that God has created, even though sometimes we use it in the other way. So what do we need to achieve? How you can help me as my boss, as my guru, as my whatever, inspire me to achieve my dreams and my goals. The seventh key, which we have put 3 dots, is a continuous learning and a continuous growth. Because it's only that keeps us going, that keeps us motivated to reach those higher heights that we want. Team members are amazing and they will do the extraordinary things if they are allowed. So set the rules of the game, set your culture, but empower them to be risk takers, to do things for your own success and their own success in that rules of the game. Not to step on someone else's toes or to do something unethical or whatever, but just to be passionate enough to take it forward. So between leadership and management, there is quite a difference. So what are your views on their relative merits at each team member? Or who can help me fill the dots? Anybody has played hangman before?
Hey.
Yeah, there is an egg.
N.
There is an N.
The can and then what?
What about the remaining two letters?
Try.
Try. One word, one letter at a time. So that's the difference between leadership and management. There is nothing called can. There is can. Will. They will. They can. You empower them. You empower the team to do more. So, what has to change? What has to shift? What must you start differently today? And what must you stop now? In many cases, it's the cycle of a charity, it's the cycle of a business. Usually there is the head of the charity who does so many different things. He talks to donors, he takes care of the charity, he does everything. Or he can inspire, or she can inspire. They can inspire their teams. And the teams can work to increase those donors. And the donors can contribute more to the charity. And the charity would have more money to develop the community or the cause that they are doing. And then it will come back to growing that charity. So it's a cycle. So there are specific tasks for each and every one, rather than the head or the founder working on teams, working on the cause, working on the charity, working on the donors, working all over the place. I would like to thank you for your attendance today. I know that I might have talked more of a framework or in general, but as a thank you note, I'm ready to give each and every one of you a free 90 minutes coaching session on how you can bring those general things back into your charity and help you grow that charity. We can either, after we finish, there is lunch for us all. But before I go into the next slides, there is a blue sheet in your folder. There is a blue sheet in your folder, which I would love if you can put your name, your charity, your evaluation of the presentation, of your evaluation of the presenter, which is me, any other businesses that can benefit from what I do, and you can think what are the most suitable day for me to get in touch with you. As an action coach, these are the services that we offer. I offer one-to-one coaching, action club, growth club, training, and workshop. But what is most important is if you can have like a 3 minutes feedback forms. I'm also available on LinkedIn and all the rest of the social media. Feel free to follow me on LinkedIn and on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and would appreciate any comments, positive or negative, because that would only allow me to improve and grow further. After you finish your evaluation form, if you can hand it please to Francis, I would highly appreciate it. Um, By the way, the food, it doesn't contradict with any religious preference. So whatever your religious preference, the food is applicable.